Good morning. Welcome to the forecast discussion for February 4th, 2013. Of course, it's Monday. It's the day after the Super Bowl. Congratulations to the Ravens. And by the way, San Francisco, the 49ers, they played an amazing game too. That's a great comeback. So it was a great Super Bowl Sunday. I do want to briefly touch on the snow threat that could have evolved on Sunday but didn't. I'll touch on that in just a moment. Take a look at the observations here. We're looking at temperatures basically in the mid to upper teens over the northern interior. We're looking at lower to mid 20s along the coast. We have clear skies in place with a nice brisk wind ranging anywhere from 5 to 15 miles per hour. So you have these winds of 5 to 15 miles per hour plus the temperatures. That leads to wind chills in the single digits and lower teens. So please bundle up out there. It is going to be a chilly day. And those winds are going to increase throughout the day anywhere from 10 to 20 miles per hour with gusts higher at times up to 35 miles per hour. And you combine that with temperatures struggling in the mid to upper 20s for most locations. And that means your wind chills are going to be in the teens. So not exactly the warmest of days throughout the northern mid-Atlantic. Now, just want to briefly touch on what I was forecasting here for basically Saturday night through Sunday. For the most part, I was expecting almost everyone to get a coating to 2 inches of snow. But I was talking about the threat, especially from southern Long Island through Richmond County down towards Monmouth and Ocean County, of a potential snow band developing. And this snow band was showing up on many models. And also it made physical sense in terms of the way that the whole Clipper was evolving. Inverted trough are very, very difficult to forecast for, and when they do happen, they can produce pretty significant snowfall, as we saw in southern New Jersey a few days before, around Thursday morning into Friday. So, what I was looking for here is that for most locations getting a coating to 2 inches, but for everyone to be aware that this band could develop over central New Jersey, back towards southern Long Island. It didn't. We had live coverage. I had live coverage throughout the day on a Saturday evening and also on Sunday to keep an eye on this threat. And when it didn't look like it was going to evolve, I let people know via Twitter and Facebook. But I don't think it was unreasonable to discuss the threat and to put that threat out there, because one little shift in that inverted trough and that moderate to heavy snow that was developing over into the south of Long Island could have easily pushed into central New Jersey and into southern Long Island during the height of when everyone was heading out to watch the big game. And I think it should have been addressed, and it was. And it was followed and covered, and thus here we are with a light dusting over central and southern New Jersey with a few passing snow showers, but luckily that band did not materialize. On to the forecast. So here we are with the latest infrared satellite picture, and we have another Clipper on the way. This one's developing over the central plains and towards the upper Mississippi River Valley. And these low pressure systems will phase and head towards the mid-Atlantic coast. Now again, this does not look like a significant snowfall threat, but we're going to have to keep an eye on these low pressure systems when they hit the Atlantic coast, or the New Jersey coastal waters, because again, sometimes they can amp up and produce a little bit more snow than what's expected. Overall, with these Clippers moving through, one for tomorrow morning and another one for Wednesday morning, looking anywhere from a coating to 2 inches of snow. Overall, though, we're looking at high pressure and control for today, then these Clippers move through, and then we start pushing into a warm-up. When you take a look at the latest radar, you can clearly see we have a nice disturbance developing here over portions of the Ohio River Valley and upper Midwest. We refresh this real fast. And I want to show you. This disturbance here does have quite a bit of moisture to work with here, but I do think as it hits the Appalachians, it's going to start to dry out, and as a result, we're going to basically see a dying out period as it's moving towards central Pennsylvania, and then as it hits the New Jersey coastal waters, it'll start to produce more scattered snow showers, expand those scattered snow showers before exiting out into the Atlantic. Again, does not look like a major snowfall threat, but it does look like anywhere from coating to 2 inches once again, and during the morning rush hour that could create some traffic problems. I want to show the water vapor here because this is really interesting. This is our storm that was moving through this weekend, and it really has blown up. It's pretty interesting. If this pattern was just a little bit slower, if we had a little bit stronger, if we had a negative NAO pattern set up over the northern Atlantic, this phase of winter would have been very, very interesting with producing plenty of snowfall. However, instead, what we just have is pretty much this cold weather pattern with these weak clippers moving through. This clipper right here is going to be some. This is why I'm a little bit cautious with this snow threat for tomorrow. Again, right now thinking of coating to 2 inches, but this is one little amped up disturbance here, and it's going to be interacting with this moisture. So again, tomorrow morning we're going to see and keep an eye on this low pressure system as it hits the New Jersey coast and potentially producing anywhere again from coating to 2 inches of snow. Maybe more if there is some intensification. Right now it is not expected, but again, this disturbance and the disturbance that follows after it can be rather tricky and can produce a bit of a surprise snowfall, as many of you in southern New Jersey have already experienced. Looking at the latest NAM model guidance for the short range period here for this afternoon, again, it's going to be pretty windy out there, chilly. Winds are ranging anywhere from 10 to 20 miles per hour, leading to rather chilly wind chills in the teens. For this evening, again, dry conditions. Now here comes that clipper moving through. And again, it's going to collapse a little bit as it's hitting the Appalachian Mountains here. And you're going to get these light scattered snow showers and flurries, no big deal, as we head into the early morning hours. However, by tomorrow morning, this is going to hit the coast, okay? And you could see the influence of what happens when it hits the east coast here and it interacts with the Atlantic Ocean. You see a little bit pickup in the development of the snowfall, especially over central and southern New Jersey. Again, something to keep an eye on. I don't think this is a major threat at all or anything of that respect. But when you start to have winds shifting off to the northeast and to the north along the New Jersey coast, it's something to keep an eye on, again, for tomorrow morning. Nothing crazy, just a quick burst here and there. Again, looking for a coating to 2 inches. There's a good chance that northern Connecticut, the Hudson River Valley, and northeastern Pennsylvania sees next to nothing, just a trace to a coating of an inch of snow, if anything. This disturbance exits out, dry and cold conditions once again for basically Tuesday evening through early Wednesday morning. And then we have another clipper moving through Wednesday morning. Again, the same idea here. It's going to hit the coast, pick up a little bit of that Atlantic moisture, and those of you along the New Jersey coast, and portions of Long Island will have to keep an eye on just whether or not we see any enhancement as it hits the coast and interacts with the Atlantic Ocean. Again, we've seen this before, so it's something to definitely keep an eye on moving forward as these disturbances interact with the Atlantic. And you can kind of see here as it's doing so. Again, scattered snow showers, coating to 1 inch of snow for most part, but watch out along the immediate coast for a quick burst here and there. For the rest of the forecast, using the European model guidance from the Penn State EWOL website, an excellent website for all your model needs. Here we are again, cold and dry on Wednesday afternoon, evening. Same thing with Thursday. Now we're going to keep an eye on this low pressure system here as it's moving towards the coast. It's going to develop along the Gulf Coast and ride up the East Coast. And the idea here, again, is that we're dealing with a weather pattern that is not conducive for major winter storms for the eastern United States at this time, because we really don't have any blocking here to slow this down to keep high pressure locked in. So what we will see is an area of low pressure race up right along the coast. And that means pretty much a snow to rain event for Thursday night into Friday. Over the interior, it's going to be a little bit more tricky. I think we're going to see snow, sleet, and then a change over to rain. There appears to be plenty of warm air rushing in ahead of this storm. When we look at 96 hours here, all this warm air being drawn up here on Thursday afternoon. So it kind of makes me wonder whether or not we'll even see any frozen precipitation on Thursday evening with this storm. But again, with high pressure kind of ridging down like this, you have to at least keep the threat in the forecast. By the time that low pressure system lifts out, plenty of dry air will be working in at the same time when the cold air does. So I think that any snow potential is most likely going to be over the interior, and it's going to be one where we see snow changing over to ice and changing over to rain. Once that low pressure system exits to the north, cold air will be in place for the weekend as we pretty much deal with near normal temperatures, talking about mid 30s to lower 40s for highs, and a tranquil weather pattern for this upcoming weekend before we have another storm reload the pattern for next week, driving more cold Arctic air into the northern mid-Atlantic for the middle and end of next week. That is your forecast discussion for today. Of course, I'm your meteorologist, Stephen DiMartino. Follow the latest weather information at nynjpaweather.com and nynjpaweather on Twitter and Facebook. Have a wonderful day. Stay safe out there.